was born March the 15th, 1923 at 1102 South Loudon Street, Bethel, Virginia. My father was. My mother was born in Frostburg, Maryland. I was born in Winchester. I had four brothers and two sisters.
Okay. And when did you start at the Douglas School?
Oh, I must have been, what, 6, I guess. 6 years old. I remember when I was late, and the principal made us need write 500 why I am late. And another thing he said, you're not going to bulldoze me. What bulldoze was, I don't know what that was. But that was my first principal.
What was your favorite teacher?
Mrs. Mitchell, Hattie Mitchell. Uh, she worked in the library. She taught second grade.
What was your favorite subject in school?
None. None.
Who were your friends when you were in school?
Mary Louise Williams, Ida Anderson, Vivian Jackson, Dorothy Shields.
And what did you like to do with your friends?
We like to talk about old times and what we want to do.
What did you want to do when you were little?
First I wanted to be a nurse. Then after I saw blood, I said, no, I don't want that. So I took care of kids all my life.
Do you remember, did you take home ec classes when you were at Douglas?
Yes.
Do you remember anything that you made in home ec classes?
Oh, we made pumpkin pie and fixed a Thanksgiving dinner for our parents.
What was that like?
Oh, a turkey and cranberries, not out the can. Didn't have can back here. And pumpkin pie.
Did you do any other projects in home ec? Like sewing?
Did sewing.
What did you like to sew?
All kind of clothes that fit me. Dresses, coats. I made a coat. I made one coat and uh, went to a Mummy's parade in Hagerstown, and it rained. And when I got home, the coat come the next day and it shrunk. I didn't know wool shrunk. Coat got soaking wet. So did I. Broomstick skirts. And one time I made a pocketbook, but it didn't look right, so I didn't take that to school. We made them out of feed sacks. Yeah. What else did I make? I like to cook. Still do.
Do you remember what a typical day at school was like?
Sometimes I was want to stay late and draw pictures on the blackboard. One time we went, well, lunchtime, we go across the track and underneath the train to a store, and I got a dill pickle, and I ate part of it. And I put the rest of it in my desk, and the teacher smelled it and went and got it and put it in the trash. Didn't save it for me. She just put it in the trash. I didn't like that. My pickle cost 5 cents.
Um, do you remember going to any school dances?
We had a drill team on the stage with all girls. We made our uniforms. They were dresses, slurred, and we would go march around, and then we'd crisscross, whatever you call it. Can I tell you about the cut on my arm?
Please.
I was one day those boys was after me, and I was running through the assembly hall, and one of them said, "Here comes a cab with the doors open," talking about my ears. And I was running after him, and that's how I got this cut on my arm. Went through the glass.
How far did you live from the Douglas School?
Oh, it took us a good walk 'cause we lived on the south end of Allen Street, and the school was on the north end, Kent Street.
When you walked to school, did you stop anywhere along the way?
Yeah, the store, get a cookie without paying for it.
Did you stop anywhere else?
No, no, we just took our good time, poking along till the John Kerr school bell rang, then we started out running. You're late twice, and we've got these 500 words to write. Send, I will not run. I will not be late for school.
So were you a troublemaker in school?
No, kind of quiet. I didn't make no trouble with nobody.
Is there anything else you'd like to share about your experience at Douglas?
I remember the windows up, and then wind them. That's how we got our uh, air conditioned in the windows, and then in the classroom the windows went up. We put them up.
How did they heat the building?
Had a furnace in the basement. Had a janitor that fired the furnace up.
Do you remember who cooked your lunch?
My parents most of the time made lunch. Sometimes we would sell bean soup and vegetable soup through the homemaker window. You put it up, we make it then, and if the kids wanted it, was 5 cents a bowl or a cup, whatever.
If there was somebody that didn't know anything about Douglas at all, what would you want them to know about Douglas?
It was a nice school.
Anything else?
You had to learn.
And why did your teachers and parents feel that it was so important for you to learn?
I guess they had that education.
You want to tell them about the cigarette?
Are you
Come on,
still,
man,
are you
you
still
Well,
rolling?
that wasn't in school.
What's that?
Do you want to
That wasn't in
was going
school.
away.
Oh yeah, do you want to just ask?
It was
ask her?
cigarettes.
prompt herself
Oh.
some stories?
Mary, why don't you tell them about the time somebody bought something in the store and your father caught you, almost caught you. Tell them about that story.
When I was smoking.
Yeah.
Was going to school one morning, and we didn't know her father was out. And he come around the corner, and we were smoking cigarettes. And he come around the corner, thought he was going to turn around to come back to pick us up. I put the cigarette in my coat pocket and burnt my hand. But he didn't come back. And my sister said, "We were dumb. You know, he could have smelled that smoke." I didn't know that. I didn't know you could smell it on you.
Next story. What about the one where you were, got in the water?
down at Rose Park.
What's that?
And I was walking along the railing, and my mother was to make our clothes, and she made this little crepe dress, and fell in the water, and the dress got shrunk, and I was trying to pull it down. My sister, she was with me, so we got up to the corner. She ran down, and she said, "Mary fell in the water." And she said, "Water where?" "Down there in that white people's swimming pool." And I said, so we went home and told my mother, said, "What are you doing down at the pool?" Evelyn didn't tell her. She didn't. She was the one that told on me. So I said, "She was down there too, but she didn't walk on that railing like I kept her telling her, and she wouldn't do that because I know she was been in the water too. But the pool wasn't very deep, but it was deep enough to shrink that dress I had on."
Any other stories you want to tell them about?
Hmm?
Any other stories?
Mrs. Swanson?
Yeah, tell them about Mr. Swanson. That's a good
Oh
one.
my. That was something. Mr. Swanson, he was real big. He had a horse. So we were going to school, and he said, we said, it said, "Good morning, Mr. Snake Hips." He said, "I'm gonna tell on you little cookies." So we don't know how he ever got up there in that horse and buggy to tell my mother. So we got home, and she said, "What was that y'all call Mr. Swanson?" So we looked at each other, and then she made us go down and apologize to him. Well, that was the worst thing I'd ever want to do. And he said, "Y'all know better than to call people out their names." We just called him Snake Hips. We didn't know what a snake was. We knew what a snake was, a fishing worm, but we didn't know what no snake hips was.
You just anything else you want to say?
No, that's enough. A little bit too much.
No, this was a
The
pleasure.
the bad part in the back behind.